Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn. First blood. An enemy has been slain. Minions have spawned.
Is it working? Oh, it's my headphones off. It's kind of nice having the headphones in, but they really block out the environment. Oh yeah. Yeah, I have these earbuds. Nah, just earbuds. But they, well, I mean, I don't know if they advertise them as noise canceling. They suction cup into your ears real good, so they block a lot of it. They're not like active noise canceling. So Alden still just watching shows, huh? Oh yeah. When is he gonna come do my work for me? I need a vacation. Majority date's got the juvenile treatment by Robbie.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Well, that was the right amount of food. ivermectin is 100% effective at reducing hospitalization. That's a new study. I don't know that there are other studies that have it. Just a proof of it. My horse takes ivermectin, it works for him. Queen Elizabeth II met with 13 US presidents? Holy shit. Yeah, 'cause she became queen when she was in her like early 20s, I think. Maybe younger, I'm not sure. That sucks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Huh.
Hi friends, my name is Tris and this is No Boilerplate, focusing on fast, technical videos. Today I'm going to tell you how Rust helps us write code that has no execution Hi friends, my name is Tris and this is No Boilerplate, focusing on fast, technical videos. Today I'm going to tell you how Rust helps us write code that has no execution paths that crash at runtime. This is a core pillar of Rust's fearless programming. Let's be real. Shit happens. The world is messy and bad code, bad APIs, and bad data are everywhere. There's no way around errors. They are a fact of life. The only way we could avoid them is by not interacting with the real world. But if we write code that doesn't interact with the real world, that would mean doing no I/O. No output to the screen, no input from the keyboard. The only evidence that our program were running was that the box would get hotter. So just as in life, worthwhile interaction comes with the possibility of failure. As you know, exceptions are the common way to manage this. The first language to handle exceptions in a way we would recognize today was Lisp in 1958. I don't know why I was surprised by this fact when I looked it up. Basically, Lisp created everything we know as high-level programming today, and we're still learning the lessons 50 years later. A topic for another video, or a previous video, perhaps. Rust is getting very close. Nearly every language from the 1980s onwards copied exceptions. They have become standard in nearly every programming language. But they suck. Exceptions add a separate execution system outside the normal function call flow. You might not notice this if your language is stuffed full of classes, mix-ins, prototype trees, templates, and competing fashionable idioms. If there's already 10 ways to do things, what's adding one more to the mix? Let me make a clear argument. Go-tos are bad, right? Of course they are. Everyone agrees. Here's the thing. Go-tos are bad because they take you out of the normal flow of execution. Why do we allow exceptions, our error handling, to take us out of the normal flow of execution but not allow go-tos to do so? Come to think of it, if errors are the inevitable byproduct of interacting with the real world, and programs that do useful work interact with the real world, why are errors called exceptions? Shouldn't they be expected? And here we have the central problem with exceptions. Errors are very normal, and acting like they're exceptional harms our ability to think about them and write robust, complex distributed code. Luckily, we have a clear example from the world of mathematics. In mathematical functions, we work with just numbers, and our equations are either valid or they are not. They might be wrong, but they won't give us an unexpected null pointer exception instead of the number 2. Of course, unlike mathematicians, we live in the real world and must interact with the messy world with all of its humans and state and data loss. Here's some Rust, finally. If we're never doing computation, like here, then we don't need errors. This function accepts any string and returns an integer, specifically the integer 42. You'll remember that most Rust integers are i32, which is a 32-bit signed integer. 32 bits is enough for most applications, and signed integers have fewer surprises than unsigned. This is why i32 is the Rust default when you don't specify a type, such as in ranges. But what if you want to do something that could fail, such as parsing that string to an integer? In other languages, this would be fine, because the function signature expresses the happy path, and an exception would break the flow and we could catch it somewhere else. Rust doesn't have exceptions, so if you write this, you are treated to one of Rust's excellent compiler errors. As usual, Rust has told us exactly the problem. I've lightly edited this error to fit on a slide. Rust's errors talk about types, because that is the language of the compiler, but we know what types mean, and we should talk about them in terms of their meaning. The error is expected i32 found result. The meaning is expected a number found a fallible number. Results are Rust's way of saying that you might not have what you wanted, there might be an error. And because errors are values, the type system can help us. Num.parse returns a result, which means we can't get at the number directly. There might have been an error. Let's tweak the function signature to fix this and pass the result back up. Rust encapsulates this fallibility in the result type, and the compiler can help you. You can't return an integer or an error. The type has to be one type only. But you can return a result enum that has 2 valid states, an integer or an error. Now the compiler is happy. And if the compiler is happy, I am happy. We have clearly stated in the function signature that you won't get an integer back from this function. You will get it wrapped in a result, and you must handle it. Treating errors as just another value is one of the features of Rust that allows you to fearlessly write complex distributed systems confidently. An example of a company building large-scale complex distributed systems in Rust is today's sponsor, Ditto. Unlike other sponsors, Ditto don't want your money. They actually want to pay you. This is because they've asked me to tell you about open Rust positions at their company. Here's what you'll want to know about them, their tech, and their open positions. Ditto use Rust to power their cross-platform data sync system. They're growing their team and are looking for people passionate about Rust. If you're watching this video, that might be you. The problems they are solving include mesh networking, replication protocols, conflict-free replicated data types, and database design, to name a few. They're looking for people with demonstrable Rust experience or previous work with C and C++, Rust backend developers for their big peer cloud system, low-level bare metal coders working with FFI and C interop, algorithm junkies to work on their data stores, and networking coders at either the low or high level to work on their actor-like frameworks in replication and multi-hop work. Find out more about Ditto at ditto.live and see their open positions at ditto.live/jobs. My thanks to Ditto for their support of this channel. Let's get back on the rails. You may have heard of this metaphor. It's one I found very useful when trying to understand functional errors like the result type in Rust. It was created by, and I will be borrowing a few slides from, Scott Voloshin in 2014. Each function is a set of points, and if there is a computation error, you divert the train from the happy path from which it can never recover. All future functions the error interacts with never execute any code. The payload continues uninspected through each station on its way to the destination. Only then do we need to find out what is
Hilarious. They
inside
peaked,
with
you
unwrap,
know, like, way
expect,
later,
or
'cause they
preferably
had,
one of the
those
many runtime
lockdowns,
safe
or at
methods.
least you can assume
Let's
it's 'cause of
build
that or
some
whatever,
error
but
handling
eventually,
in
like,
Rust.
they've had more
I'm basing
cases
this
now.
section on the code in the book Rust by Example. As ever, we start with modeling our data. We are going to implement a check math function to avoid panicking at runtime. Here, we're
I don't know.
enumerating the three
People
kinds of
care.
mathematics errors that we are going to be catching in our toy example. And here is how we are going
People
to
in
do
Australia
that.
still
Division
care
by zero
about it to
operations panic
report
at
it.
runtime. Instead,
I mean,
let's
like, it's one thing
return
in
the
the
reason
hospital,
for the
but-
failure wrapped in the variant of the result
Well,
enum. If the
there's one thing
divisor
in the
y
hospital,
is
you're
not
saying in
0, then
general,
this operation
because,
is
like,
valid,
how
and
do
we
they
return
count
the
cases
result
where you don't
wrapped
go
in
to the
OK.
hospital? Most people don't
Note
go to
that we don't
hospital.
return the number.
But this is John Hopkins numbers, I guess. So whatever that's worth.
Ally has been slain.
I don't know. And he's got code. Took the test. Told me.
We still wrap it in the OK variant of the result enum. This stops calling code using the integer directly, which of course won't work if unexpectedly there is an error. Predictable return values are essential for good design in any language. The next time you are tempted to return false or null from a function to signify a fail state, remember this. We'll write two more functions to do similar check behavior, first on a square root function that errors on a negative number, and the same for natural log. Now let's put them together and test our train tracks. Here we have a function that uses our new math system we've just made. The check math function does some division, then square root, then log, and returns the answer. Note that the three calculations on line 2 to 5 use the question mark operator to unwrap the number inside the result, or, if it is an error, immediately return it. This is the railway part of the function. Though not a track of functions accepting and returning results, as in the original railway-oriented design, this is functionally the same. As soon as you get an error, you early return it from the function. The last answer, answer 3 on line 5, if we get it, we want to repackage inside the OK variant of that result enum, so it can be returned in a type that is compatible with our function's signature. If you have been paying attention, you will note that early returning from a function with an error sounds and looks an awful lot like exception handling. This is due to the question mark operator, one of Rust's excellent patterns, which deliberately makes this behavior familiar. But the difference is clear. All three of these functions can fail. But only Rust makes it clear to the compiler, and more importantly to you, that it can, and will force you to handle the error. JavaScript is worse, and it can also return null instead of the number you hope to get. This is common across Python and Ruby too. This is my core feeling, after programming professionally for 15 years. Tony Hoare, inventor of null in Algol in 1965, calls it his billion-dollar mistake, as nearly every language has adopted it and perpetuated this misery. The core problem with null is that the type system must make a special case for it. You might expect a function to return a string, but surprise, you got a null. Rust's design helps you avoid runtime errors, but if you write code like this, you'll still get them. Making sure your code doesn't have any unwraps or expects gets you nearly all of the way there. But how can you defend against unchecked vector indexing, like in the second example? Well, you could set up a lint error for this, and Clippy can help you there. But friends, I have something very exciting to share with you. The no panic macro can give us this automatically. No panic is a Rust attribute macro that requires the compiler prove a function can't ever panic. I don't fully understand how it works, but by the message I think it causes a compiler error if your code links to the panic handler function in the Rust standard library. This means if a single branch of your code unwraps a result unsafely, does unsafe runtime operations, or calls any crates that do so, no panic won't allow that function to compile. It's a bit hacky. The Git repo is archived, but I've tested it and it works. If you want to use it to prove important parts of your code, you can do so. Most languages start with null and have to build in controls for this terrible feature on top of it. Though Java now has options, nulls still exist in every popular library, hidden, waiting to strike at 4 AM. TypeScript attempts to paper over the damage with its own option type, but it's too late for JavaScript too. These languages, along with Python and Ruby, infected their standard libraries and ecosystems with nulls years ago, and it's impossible to get the horse back in the stable after it has bolted. Even Go, an otherwise very good modern language, has nulls. Rust had no nulls from the start, so you can always get what you expect, and you can easily write code that never crashes. If you'd like to see what you can write in Rust, click the top video. I used it to make a fun retro computer visualization for my Hope Punk podcast, Lost Terminal. Or if urban fantasy is more your bag, click the bottom video to listen to a strange and beautiful podcast I produce called Modem Prometheus. If you would like to support my work, head to patreon.com/noboilerplate. Transcripts and compile checked markdown source code are available on GitHub, links in the description, and corrections are in the pinned errata comment. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you on Discord.
So California, I don't know the details, I don't really feel like reading about it, but apparently they're like trying to make some kind of a higher minimum wage for fast food workers, apparently. Yeah, this headline says California Governor Newsom paving the way for $22 an hour fast food wage in California. I think it should be lowered instead of raised. Specifically fast food wages. Like, you shouldn't be eating that shit anyway. You should make it the lowest paid possible position in America. And you know, quality suffers. Well, quality's already in the toilet, so if it gets so bad that it discourages you from eating it, I think it's a win-win-win. That'd be an amazing policy. It's like our health policy to lower the wages at fast food restaurants to make it so utterly terrible that nobody wants to eat it anymore. I should run on that platform.
An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
Yeah. Probably connected to the drought though too. Like, you know, all together. Maybe that, but also just like if there's way less water, like it's at historic lows or whatever, you know, it probably affects the environment. Um, I don't know enough about that stuff to say for sure, but I just know, like, to plant a bunch of trees like Israel did, and then actually the desert into like a subtropical region or whatever, you know, so like that kind of stuff to just have a wide spread effect. You drain an entire lake that you know, it's the filled up Colorado River or whatever, Lake Mead. Probably just has a huge giant-ass effect on everything.
Slain. Unstoppable.
I'll be back in just a minute. Alright.
it's crazy. There's just a ceiling fan in here that's just enough wind to blow my triple torch lighter around. Super annoying.
Riot have changed the way that dodging works in ranked. At the moment, it's unsure whether this is intentional or just some weird bug since it
So,
wasn't mentioned
what's the
anywhere
coolest thing you've done at Amazon? What's So you like kind of create you create a class, and when you make an instance of that, it's actually like creating a database and connecting to storage and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I have 2 weeks to think about. It'll probably get better in the cross references stuff. It's just that until you've tackled like all the edge cases, but you're aware of all the edge cases, or a lot of them anyways, they're like vectors, hanging out there off the back of your shoulder, and you just know you can't get them all right now.
There we go. Now it should work. It's annoying because like Streamlabs, for some reason, whenever I reboot Windows, it like defaults to the wrong microphone.
Uh,
Yeah, so now it should be on stream. No, that sucks because I was talking most of the last 2 games. But whatever. Just talking to Drew then. No one else could hear.
my my beautiful voice makes up for the lack of your commentary.
to Summoner's
Yeah, it's kind of crazy though how different the skill sets in programming are. Like Alden and I were talking about this a little bit before. Like I think I'm pretty good at the algorithm stuff and writing clean code that gets like, you know, a lot of messy shit done. It's like maintainable. But at Amazon it's like a totally different skill set because you'll get like this open-ended problem, like we need to make some load tests, and so that's just so open-ended, right? You have to know like, oh, which other teams are going to be involved in this load test, what are the bottlenecks, potential bottlenecks in our entire microservice architecture and stuff. And I've just never really worked with like microservice architectures, so I'm kind of like, I don't know, we've got like a API in the front end, I know that much, so we're load testing that, like, oh, we need to load test the entirety of the system. And I'm like, so like dynamo connections, or like what are we trying to like pressure test here? Is it like our read writes? Is that our API calls? And I don't know. And just so many different services at Amazon will have just random different limits on things, like, oh, this many per second, this many max tables, yada yada. And it's just so much. It's like domain expertise that you just have to acquire. And so the guy on my team now, like I moved to the data plane sub team of our original team, and this dude's been there 11 years, so he's just on fire, right? So when we're working together, you know, brainstorming, quote unquote, together, he's basically just coming up with everything. And then if I'm curious, I'll ask about it and he'll explain it to me, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But it just feels like, because we're a greenfield project, all the most senior people at Amazon want to be here. They want to get out of their shit-old projects and work in this greenfield thing that's sexy with clean code and room to make a name for yourself, kind of, right? But I don't really have room to make a name for myself because I just don't know the AWS ecosystem that much. Like I've learned a shit ton. I definitely like, I could hook all of the Namely stuff up on AWS really good now. But like when it comes to, I don't know, these open-ended things like load testing, I just end up asking everybody else stuff constantly. And I guess that's fine. It's like part of the job, just emailing people and slacking people all the time. But it's like super mundane, and you just feel like a middleman or like a gear in the system if you're not like contributing something. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I should have taken Charm. I could have killed this guy. Oh well. I don't even know. He's not even shoving hard, so I can't soak that wave. Akali's gonna be back. If Silas had shoved hard, I'd want to be there to soak the experience. Here's their jungler Nunu. He can be kind of a pain in the ass here. But ward just in case. Usually like Lee Sin and Kayn are the ones you have to worry about coming to kill you at your blue buff. Nunu can like come steal it, but he doesn't have much early game kill potential, so he usually doesn't try. Like it's not worth his time to come all the way over here if all he gets is a buff and he doesn't kill you. But Lee Sin can do both. He can kill you and then take your buff. This is probably gone. Oh, it's not gone. I should probably kill him first. Let's go, boy. Let's go. Come on. Well, I mean, we got his flash ignite. I'm happy with that. Ooh, ignite. We're not gonna ignite. Oh, he doesn't have it. Oh, that's sad. I should have come and help him. Here, I thought he took ignite and he tapped that to teleport. Let him have these creeps then. Oh, I just handed Timo a freeze. Nunu still didn't take this? Is he getting fought or something? Very weird. He's warding that bush, but I think if I go around, yeah, I think we can go around it. Oh, there's Nunu actually. Hi, Nunu. That's fine with me. Akali should just hit 6 and then kill him. Oh, what? A Mumu. Oh, it's a Mumu support. Run! Mr. Pin. Oh, that's fine. Nice. He's gonna have mushrooms in that bush. We gotta go around the bush, and then we can kill him. Oh no, dude, that's a little early. Holy shit, man. Dude. That's me shove it, I think. I gotta shove the next wave or it won't be under.
Killing spree. Double kill. Shut down.
Close out with the bottom one.
Enemies triple kill.
Whoa, buddy. Man, that pike ult scares me a little bit. He's gonna go on Akali. Oh, he missed. Nice.
Here's a headline for you. Shameless. Grown man steals baseball from little girl at Nationals Park. Just imagine that. Nope.
That's ruthless. I don't know who does that.
It's almost literally like taking candy from a baby.
Yeah.
But that guy's probably like gone to that baseball game without fail his whole life. And he's like, nah, This is mine.
Oh, Vayne misclicked. Oh, that guy would have been dead.
Why your natural immunity against COVID is so durable, and how to boost it using micro exposure.
Micro exposure.
I'm just
Nice.
kidding. I added that last part. It's like microdosing COVID.
Yeah.
I am a little suspect though, because I'm seeing all of these articles happen to be the Epic Times, and they're like Chinese expats. I'm not sure if they came from Hong Kong or not that originally started it, but I'm kind of like, there's so many that are these like super counter COVID stories. Like, what if it's like a Chinese site, you know?
Yeah. COVID's good for you. Trust China.
COVID's not quite that crazy, but you know, it's just like hardcore the opposite.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing it on like the Bongino report, which is kind of like a replacement of the Drudge report, and usually gets stories like that, or not like that specifically, but just anything. But you'll see like reoccurring themes with different sources. But this one seems to be pretty heavy. This particular news outlet, so that makes me wonder.
Oh wow, that hit. Oh, they can clean this up easy. Oh, I think Pike missed his ultimate there. Pretty easy though. Vayne's gonna get some kills. It's good. Nice. You do get the plates that the Herald takes when it's your Herald. You also get gold for the creeps that he kills. But if he's sitting there whacking creeps, he's not getting towers, so you gotta clear the creeps yourself. That's why people will like escort the Herald, clear the creeps out so he gets more plates. I don't know if I can stop him in time. Nunu like has his Q that'll eat, it's like 1,000 true damage on a monster, and then that plus might is like so much damage. And we can try it. Oh wow, he's not even started on it. What? You dumb. Oh no. Didn't get enough distance. Oh well. Freaking pink ward snipe. We could try it. Well, he's got snowball. He gets here pretty quick. If Vayne came, it'd be free. Vayne's farming, so can't risk Nunu showing up. Yeah, he's right there. You kill this Moo. Just need like one other teammate around and we could get some action here. The Silas maybe? I mean, he's walking right into it. Look at this guy. I missed. Look, he keeps missing his ult. He steals Pike ult every fight, it whiffs it. Vayne, get in there! Oh, the blind is gonna fuck Vayne. His team was sad to come down. Team was super fed because their top is a little struggling. Kaisa has % max health damage like Vayne, so she melts Dragon and Baron. Kaisa's like Vayne, but with some AP mixed in. I don't know how Timo got all the way down here. He doesn't even have teleport. Unless we got tower for it.
That's my boy.
Timo?
Yeah,
Yeah. So freaking annoying.
balls deep.
Yeah. Yeah, the Timo would be nice. He's got shutdown money. No, I guess Renekton doesn't want to start the fight. What, the Timo? Yeah, then start the fight, dude. Get up in there. Oh, the mushroom's gonna kill me. Oh god. Fun stuff.
Slain.
Oh, I hate Fed Timo.
Never underestimate the power of the Scout's
An
code.
ally has been slain. Shut down.
Ah, it's not worth it. He's 2-11. Akali's gonna die to one Mumu bandage. Calling it. Pain, you want that? I told you.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Oh no, he got away. Drunk! They're getting away!
See, Jordan's adapted your merge emoji.
Oh yeah, nice.
It's professional, unlike all of the ones that I use. Oh boy.
Ah, yeah, we're way too late. Got it. Could have ulted backwards for him. Without Vayne, we don't have any damage to fight. Now we got no Vayne. Got him tower aggro. Oh, the Kai'Sa's gonna clean me up though. Even if I get Silas. Oh, he got out just in time. And he's taking Dragon Soul right now. Oh, Akali, you can't get up in there. Yeah, just so nice. Oh no. Almost. Hey, Pike can nuke him. Ah, they got red scanners, so even when Pike goes underwater, they can see him. Oof. Guys, that hurts so much. Hey, where's my boys? Who's gonna clean up these kills? We got 2 assassins in a vein. And no one to clean up these kills. Oh man. Like sure, Renekton is just feeding, like having a terrible game, but this Akali is like never in the right place to do what she needs to do. Like I haven't seen one flashy Akali ult this whole game. Oh, there's Kaisa too. Kaisa knows where to be. Like we're a team of assassins and we're getting like flash assassinated by Teemo and Mimi. Like, they're doing our jobs for us. Oh yeah, Cloud Soul is super nice. But they're also on the Cloud, it's Cloud map, so in the jungle you get the speed boost. We all do. It's nice. I love Cloud Soul though, and Cloud Drags in general are just super good. Now our top lane is intentionally feeding. And then everyone else just got caught a ton. I had like by far the most damage on our team. KDA, most gold. I think they were being ironic. What do you do? I was calling surrenders on that one since 15 minutes. But they made us play it out. Because apparently we scale, like Akali and Evelyn. Don't worry, we scale, guys. I mean, Vayne might scale, but that Vayne was like never in the right position. Vayne and Akali were like just never around for the fights when they were happening.
By my first Colossal Con last week, as it was taking place in Austin, which is where I moved to a few months ago. It's a fairly new con, or at least con location, but it's an extension of a larger Colossal Con brand that has multiple locations to my knowledge, all taking place at the gorgeous Kalahari Resorts. The day before the con, I scoped out the place with Gnarly, a Megaton YouTuber that I've met through making my Persona 4 series, and I was frankly stunned by the size of the place. Rock climbing walls, a roller coaster, multiple excellent restaurants and bars, an indoor bowling alley, sweet shop, pizzeria, spa, an outdoor outdoor and indoor water park, multiple unique drink menus that are all based around different anime. I mean, the list goes on, but having gotten my badge early with pre-registration, I came back the next day to check it out for real. ColossalCon Texas, especially outside of Austin and Round Rock, is set in an amazing convention venue. There's so much space and so many rooms, but so much of the con took place in a dinky fraction of the total resort. The people as well. Well, on Saturday at least, were quite a few people, I guess. The total people there were pretty vacant for how big the resort was. And so I couldn't stop thinking of how awesome this con would have been, or how awesome a con in one of these resorts could be, thinking back to Anime Expo 2022, which is an all-time best weekend ever experience. I think the flux and normalization of anime hasn't quite reached the aesthetic of cons, nor have many of the cons evolved with the times to get the word out. I mean, I only knew about this con that was happening within an hour's drive of me because someone I met at Anime Expo, Gnarly, told me about it. And I'm living in Austin now, so even if I end up screaming into the void, let me cover some things that I think would undeniably grow any B or C tier con that's trying to hit it big. The first thing, and I don't want to seem like a whiny baby, but press exists for a reason. You want people to cover your event, but more so, you want people with followings to attend your event. There is an endless line of streamers, VTubers, YouTubers, of plenty big followings living in Austin. Texas in general is becoming a hub for content creators all across the board, and yet, when I was at ColossalCon all 3 days, I never saw a single press badge. That goes for myself as well, as I signed up to do press myself, and in their words, despite meeting all the requirements, I didn't provide enough coverage in the past to warrant press. Now, they could have told me what they wanted to cover, or what needs to be done if I'm given press, but instead, not only did they require a press history in order to apply for a badge, but also enough coverage of how they consider it to be, which is a flawed idea, and I'll explain why. Nobody cares about your con, or your thing in general that you're trying to do. They care about the people they follow already. In that same sense, if they care about similar things to the people they follow, the same sort of things the person with press finds interesting is likely to interest them as well. It's more organic, more authentic, and has better odds at convincing people to come by because of that, because you're actually showing people what they like. There's no point in me talking about a Dragon Ball booth in some sort of press coverage video, because I don't care about Dragon Ball and I've never made content about Dragon Ball. It is extremely unlikely a noticeable portion of people who have found out about the con through me would care about that either, even when Dragon Ball is one of the biggest anime things ever to exist. But if I have a channel dedicated to Persona content, per se, and I upload a video talking about this awesome Persona event at a con, regardless of how many people see the video, the people who do see it will be infinitely more engaged and convinced to do the awesome thing themselves. Another thing is cost.
This is like some insane mathematics.
Entrance to a con cost is essentially to cover overall expenses of the con, but with something like the Kalahari, with countless resorts and bars around, any person spending the night or extended
This
period...
guy's like min-maxing anime cons. He's like, if you had the con in the space, it'd make people want to do the con, the press would be there, but they wouldn't need to validate the... I don't know. It's like the longest string of logic I've ever heard in my life.
periods is like...
What the heck?
Guy on the left looks super awkward. Looks like he's not having a good time.
To spend hundreds of dollars between foods, drinks, and of course the lodging the days that they are there. The more people filtering through the dealer's alley, artist alley, and more, the more purchases and likelihood of the dealers and artists will tell their friends that, hey, I made good sales, and then they come again and they bring their friends who are also artists. It grows the registration roster. It's an exponential sort of thing, like a dating app with no people on it. It doesn't matter how well designed your app is if you don't incentivize people to come. So number one priority is to get the word out, and number one way to do that is to appeal to people with audiences. One free ticket that still buys things at the con, or even better, a free ticket that convinces more people to pay to enter, is a positive thing business-wise, and there's no other way to cut it. Signing up with my channel of 200,000 subscribers, thank you all so dearly. Thank you for liking and commenting, I appreciate you. Evanito's channel with hundreds of daily concurrent viewers and over 50k followers, and Yarly's channel of over 100k subscribers. Surely, if you offered free tickets to 50 or 60 creators ahead of time, and as a part of the deal made them promote it, they could operate essentially as unpaid guests, and when word spreads that everyone is going to this one con, it makes this whole thing more appealing to dealers hall registers, artist alley booths, bigger brand sponsors, and of course, more people as a whole. ColossalCon could have easily held 5 times the people and had just as much an increase in Artist Alley and Dealers Hall representation if they really pushed for it. And I mean, the guest area wasn't anything to squander at necessarily. I got Erica Lindbeck's signature on my base P5 copy, and she's the voice of Futaba, which was wonderful for me, but even more proper guests would be willing to go if they knew that people would be there to see them and make it worth their time. Maybe even industry people, if it gets big enough. That's the first, in my mind, biggest thing that they could have done to launch these cons to a bigger and broader appeal. People go to big cons because of reputation, industry ties, size, size, and legacy. If you don't have any of that, the best way to start building towards it is to work on size first. And the best way to work on size is to do this first thing I mentioned. The second thing, which I think does have a sort of old fandom appeal to it that I ultimately think is not good for cons, is art style and promotional art. In order to appeal to a great order of anime fans, things have
Just gotta appeal to creative.
Yeah.
Minions have spawned.
I am become creative. Attender of anime con.
Got the pity laugh.
So what?
Hold on. Got the pity laugh from Drew.
Oh.
Your screen's crazy. I got you sideways on my phone and there's still black bars on the top and bottom.
Ally has been slain.
Is there like a triple monitor?
No. You can get a lot wider than this. This is actually the least possible wide, ultra wide.
What?
Because you can get ones that are like, what is it? It's normally 16 by 9, and then the ultra wides are 21 by 9. But this I think is 21 by 10. But you can actually get straight up ones that are like 2 monitors wide, and those ones are like overkill, I think.
Yeah.
I could honestly be fine with one 16 by 9 monitor. Like, I'm so disillusioned with having multiple. I had 4 in Mankato, 4 16 by 9 monitors, and you realize that like 1 or 2 just end up with like a PDF open that you never look at. Or I look at like once an hour, and I could just like, you know, tab over to it once an hour instead and not be like searing my eyeballs with this bright white thing that's open all the time. It's like when you're coding, how much like stuff do you need, like immediate context? Not that much.
I just code on my laptop now,
Yeah.
like literally.
That's what Alden
So-
does too, and like, that's fine. I think it's a little easier to have a big screen, like at least one.
It is.
But like, I don't know.
Yeah, like it's nice. I'm always tabbing back and forth between the browser and the code, you know.
Yeah,
And if I try to do them side by side, sometimes it works out. It's a little tight, but you can't like. It gets really tight when you have 2 tabs open side by side in VS Code, and then of course the terminal, and then your browser on top of that, and you're like really having room to look around and various
Yeah.
panes. So it is nice to have a second monitor, but can't
An enemy has been slain.
can't do without the coffee shop.
fine. Vex is so annoying, but at least he's out of mana now. Yeah, Vex and Victor are the two strongest champs, Vex, Victor, and Zed. They're all super strong.
Yeah, I think with League of Legends is now one of the few games where it's highly competitive, and if you have a wider screen monitor, you actually do just see more of the game.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of unfair. You can totally see ganks coming earlier with a widescreen. That's not why I got it. I got it because it's nice to have one screen that's for everything, coding and gaming and whatnot. I think this size ultra wide is just like the perfect balance.
I guess you can kind of do the same thing with Counter-Strike, but it's not considered a huge advantage because if you're not already looking at the right spot, then you kind of suck, I guess. Like, if you're at a high enough level, it's better to have less peripheral vision or something. At least I've seen that argued.
Yeah.
Some people play on like a lower, they lower the resolution even.
Oh, yeah, stretch it out.
Well, yeah, because it makes like tinier, like when their head's real tiny, it makes it more pixelated and then it can stick out more potentially.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm considering just getting like one square 4K monitor, just like minimalistic. But the thing about like 4K is 4K 27 inch is like the wrong size to resolution, and macOS scales like shit. You need to do 1.5 scaling for that to be a good size. And that's just not a happy place to be on macOS.
What's funny is I updated my Windows laptop, and I thought the update to Windows 11 like screwed the resolution settings, and then I realized I'm just super used to Mac's weird resolution, or aspect ratio, where it's like a little bit taller than normal 16:9.
Oh, the MacBook screen is, yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking at my screen, and I'm like, there's this bar in the bottom. Like, how come it's not showing me? It says it's in 16:9. And then I'm like, oh, I'm just used to the Mac. That's what happened.
I gotcha.
One more reason for social.
Yeah, I don't know. I see a lot of people on Twitter lately. It's like a fad or something. I don't know if it's stock trading or what motivated it, but so many people are getting like 3 or 4 monitors now, and I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be like selling those back in a year. I've been down that road.
In communism, you can get whatever monitor you want, but the software limits it to the people's resolution.
The people's resolution. The people's aspect ratio, 4:3. Guess what the DPRK uses. My boy Roman. My boy Roman, and I'm barely ahead in CS. At least I'm ahead in experience. Oh, come on. One more auto. He's gonna hold on to his fear so that I can't go take that plate too. Oh, I dodged your fear, buddy. Your plates are belong to me. Got no fear up. Can't stop me. Vex is like Annie, so like just over time, walking and casting spells, she fills up a bar that turns red, and then that means her next ability will fear you. Any ability. She has like a lot of abilities. Yeah, you always gotta watch out for that red bar. Her ultimate is cool. She can like teleport across the map. Pretty neat. I want to shop. She should know I want to shop, but she's letting me push for some reason. Okay.
This is the ultimate socialist game, because the only way to make money is with the blood of the masses.
Yeah, war. The military-industrial complex.
Just go to arbitrary war that never ends. liquidate your population for gold.
What you gotta do? Oh, he's missing? No, he's back. Why isn't he shoving? He's playing the lane all wrong. Aatrox is strong, Dan is strong. I'm feeling good about this one. I think we're gonna win.
Killing spree.
Mario Kart is socialist for sure. Dude, after playing that at my brother's, I was watching his house and I went hardcore on Mario Kart one day and played for like 12 hours. And yeah, my brother just kicks ass at it, but like, every time he loses, he's like, "Oh, I got Mario Kart." I'm like, "Nah, man, I won." He's like, "Well, I got 3 blue shells on that last lap." I'm like, yeah, that is kind of gay."
Yeah, I know. I like to get behind on purpose when I'm playing with my brothers and stuff, just so I get the blue shells.
It's actually crazy because like I beat well, they're coming out of new tracks, so I didn't want to literally sit there all day playing it. But I beat the 50 and the 100cc basically without losing, and 50 was especially boring. It's so slow, but yeah, totally. It's such a different game when you're in first place the whole time because you get nothing but coins and what else does it give you? Oh, like green shells, I think.
Oh, nice. Yeah, or bananas. You get bananas a lot when you're in first. They're like a coin,
what
but
it
you're
is,
already
yeah,
at
yeah.
max coins, so the coin doesn't do
You
shit.
either, you either get a single coin or a single banana.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I think you might get a green shell if you're lucky.
All the night I went and
No
played Mario
boots.
Kart at a gay bar, and we crushed it. Like, I won every time, but he was doing pretty good too. I think he got in second. You can't beat the Petersons at Mario Kart. Did you see that guy who was hacking on like DS or whatever? It's so
So you
funny.
gotta play on 200cc, dude, and punish all of your friends who've never played the game before.
Right. Oh my gosh, the fear is always up. Like, holy shit, man. Give me a break. It's like Twisted Fate. He's always got stuns ready. Every time there's about to be some action. Place him up on farm and on plates. I'm actually doing pretty well. Looked like he was gonna trade lanes with Set, so I built this armor. Then they swapped back. It's a head fake.
Yeah, man, in Mario Kart 8 they have Rainbow Road from, I think it's the original Mario Kart. And you can fall off the edges everywhere, you know? So in 200cc, you can't even like drift around the corners. You have to basically like hold brake the whole time.
Oh man.
And you just go straight off. Yeah, it's just terrible. And my brother, he just complains about it the whole time. He's like, "Ah, 200cc is hell." And then he's like fucking half the track ahead of everybody. And he's like, "Yeah, I got Mario Kart." Like, you still won. Well, yeah, I would have lapped you guys if it weren't for those blue shots.
Yeah. Oh man. Here, go kill Twitch. Got ult ready, it'd be a shame not to use it. See if we can make some magic happen. Looks like no ward. Where'd he go?
So
Where'd he go?
Austin like never drinks, and he basically he doesn't like alcohol, so he just takes shots because his friends are peer pressuring him, and he's like, "Fine, at least a shot's over in one go," you know. So do like one shot away.
Yeah.
So apparently they were at some cabin or something, and they got him to drink a whole bunch. He like legitimately got drunk. And they're like, "Yeah, now we're gonna play Mario Kart and whoop your ass," you know? And he just fucking still destroyed him.
Even when he's drunk. That's great.
So funny.
Yeah, blue shells are stupid. They're like income taxes. You can't get away from them. gold is worse than silver. It's kind of true. Everyone says like people play garbage. I mean, there's clips of people in Diamond 4 that play so bad you can't even believe it. And then sometimes they'll meet people in silver who are like insane mechanically. So I don't know what it's about. Boosters or who knows, win traders. Or macro
Probably
is just that
mostly
important. Yeah.
But probably also just like, people who stop playing to fill in the ranks, and they're like, "Oh, give League a shot for a month again."
That
And just
too.
whoop everyone's ass in silver, and then they quit before they move up.
Yeah. There are definitely people that just don't put in the time. So they're like silver, but they should be plat. And they just don't
Yeah,
grind it out. Because it takes so long to grind it out intentionally, right? It's like, who is it, Sisyphus
Yeah.
with the rock? Just keep pushing you down.
yeah, yeah. Aaron keeps saying that about Counter-Strike. I don't know if he's still trying to win at that or not, but he's like, "Oh man, I'm at the last rank in silver. I'm almost in gold, man." He's been saying that for like, like I don't know, 6 months or something. I'm like, dude, it's not worth
Yeah,
it.
I know. Is gold like gold in League? Is that like the median? Like in League, I think most people are gold 4.
I I don't know. I think in Counter-Strike, most people are probably silver, but that's just me guessing because I'm definitely not bad at that game and I'm stuck in silver. But I also never play, so like I'm never gonna get out of it because I don't play enough. And but it's such like I've gone through little spurts where I played a whole bunch for a couple weeks or whatever, and maybe moved up like one rank in silver. And it's like I'm not gonna sit here playing the game for 6 months just so I can get to wherever I'm supposed to be at.
Right.
But everybody else in silver is like not everybody else, but like good 50% of the players are as good as that. It's not like I'm playing against a bunch of noobs. Um, I do tend to come out I tend to top frag when I do play, which is weird because I'm not really a top fragger. So I think it just kind of supports my theory. But that doesn't mean everyone else sucks. I think there's just that many. It's a pretty old game now, so there's that many people. It's all muscle memory and Twitch stuff, that are that good at the game, and like me, aren't gonna sit there every day for years on end anymore. So they come back to the game and they kick some ass, and they're done for another year.
Yeah. Oh, Yone, finally, a fun matchup. Honestly, I wish they would just, like, I don't know, maybe I should make a game, but Bloodline Champions tried twice and failed twice. But, like, I wish they would
Yeah.
just distill the fun parts of League. Like, remove the farming and the brain dead parts where you just want to surrender because you're way behind. Like, I kind of don't like the momentum you get from killing people. It's like Call of Duty. I didn't like it in Call of Duty either, where you get
Oh,
like the
yeah.
helicopter once you get enough kills. You just stomp
Yeah.
even more. It's like, I kind of like the swing mechanics more. And League's been moving that way. League is so swingy now with like all the bounties and stuff. I think that makes
Oh,
it
yeah.
better. But man, some characters are just not fun to lane against. Like that Vex lane was just super boring. And like for both of us, right? Like I can't even get close to the creeps because they'll just poke me away. And so like there's almost never any fighting. I think I engaged on him like one time the whole 20 minutes. But now Yone, oh, Yone's a blast to lane against. Yone and Yasuo, like a battle of mechanics. And he has no skin too, so he's probably a smurf. This is gonna be fun. League's actually coming out with the fighting game that's like Soul Calibur, and that could be really fun because like that's the aspect of League that I like the most is when you have like super fast fights with like mechanics and you're calling his flash and you're predicting his next jab. And that's fun.
FPS socialism's the best. There's this one Counter-Strike game I was playing. I think the level's called or the map's called Vertigo, and there's these stairs that are like that's really one of the three main ways that you go as a terrorist, and they go up into a hallway, and then you have to do like a U-turn to get out of the hallway into the next part, and that's kind of where you meet the counter terrorists. And but there's these little windows
Welcome
at the top of the hallway that are like the skinny long window kind of thing, and you can throw grenades through there. So we were on this one game, and I don't know, I must have been shooting through smoke a lot or something, but I got warned that like I've done too much team damage, you know. And if you like straight up headshot your own teammates, like it'll just kick you from the game. So we're and on top of that, I was in a super toxic team, so like they're just, you know, complaining and we're losing and they're getting all pissed. Like, whatever, guys, dude. Like, I don't give a shit. And so, anyways, it's like we're very much probably gonna lose, and we're kind of on our last leg, and we go up, and this is after them just giving me a bunch of shit before the round starts, and I go to throw a molly through that window, and I fucking miss, and it bounces back and lights like the whole team on fire, you know, and then just kicks me from the game.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, I don't really care about those guys, but they totally are gonna think I did that on purpose. Yeah, and it boots me from the game. I can't even say anything.
This guy is not a smurf, but he has a 67% win rate on Yone on like 30 games, which is kind of crazy. We'll see. Get level 2 first. But I hit it next.
The one strategy in Counter-Strike that almost never fails me
I didn't do
is if on Vertigo and then I think it's called Office. Or no, oh, that's the one map I hated. That Agency, that's what it is. Both of those are on like high-rise buildings, and you can fall off the map, you know, in certain spots. Yeah, especially at the spawns. So if you can convince your whole team on the first round, you wait like 15 seconds so the enemy team like buys their pistols, spends all their money, and then is like almost getting to you. And then you all just jump off and commit suicide in the first round. And you do it on both sides too. So when you trade, you know, halfway through the rounds, you trade, and then you go to the opposite side and do the same thing on that first round. And it's like some psychological shit because it actually works more than that, I would say. It should be bullshit, but I swear it works. Because the thing is, you gotta wait a little bit so they do buy their pistols. Because pistols aren't like the best thing to buy round 2, 3, 4, you know. So they waste their money, and then, you know, you lose the round or whatever, but you save your money and you can still get a rifle or whatever the next round. And it fucks with their head because they think like, oh, these people aren't trying hard, but you're just committed to throwing away that one round, and then you try hard the rest of the game. And I swear, dude, like you think you're down 2 rounds for sure doing it, but on top, I'd say more than half the time. You just have to be really good at callouts, Alden, because then you go in there and you die, but if you tell them where 3 people are, that, you know, 14-year-old super twitchy guy can go in there and clean up.
Oh shit! That was a really good recall. Oh, I live! That's bullshit. Do it, Yone. Where's the flash? Actually, Rek'Sai could come and just cue me. Probably go home. I don't know, Rek'Sai's ganking bottom. We're good. That was hilarious, though.
My gosh.
The freaking Yone E.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Just have to accept that being cannon fodder is the mature strategy.
Nobody has any shutdowns. Oh, what the frick? Get out of here, man. What? Jeez Louise. If sport's gonna roam, they're gonna get a kill. I just didn't think the sport would roam when they're getting shoved in so hard bottom. I guess that's just makes it safe to roam though. Is Guys can just farm under his tower. Alistar can go do whatever he wants.
Oof. That mode where you play against the waves in Halo, I think, is the most fun.
Yeah.
I tried the multiplayer, the Halo whatever that is on Steam and stuff now. And I don't really miss those battle rifle beats. It's so boring because like these other people just don't miss with like the misses and all that. So basically whoever starts shooting first just eats through the shields first, and it's like fuck.
I mean, theoretically, he should suspect that my jungler is in here. But I guess not. Oh man, I'm so behind on farm. He zones me out every time I try to get close to lane. I like double my CS, he's up 2 levels. All because the Alistar roam. And then trying to help Hecarim at Scuttle. Should have just let him die. Throw your jungler under the bus so you can be strong later. That's the secret. Whole team's getting absolutely shit on though. Our top is 0-2. 1-3.
I'm like committed to do that.
Rexa is kind of an Akali counter too, because like his sonar reveals you in Shroud. So annoying. It's actually crazy how much stuff there is in this game that like reveals stealth. And it's like a shitload. Yeah.
Well, then it used to be that like there's very few characters with stealth, so it was, like almost a novelty type of thing, like Twitch or whatever.
Yes and no.
Shaco.
3 of the original characters, yeah, Twitch and Shaco and Evelyn, they're the 3 original characters, and they could all stealth. It's kind of a lot. 3 out of 20. I don't know what it is now.
Well, I mean, even with 20, I swear, like when there was.
Enemy rampage.
Dude, this Alistar is still here, what? Chan is so useless on a comp that's not AD. I guess we're all mostly AD. Gotta break this herald. No! I'm dead. Alistar can have it though.
An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
At least MF is up 18 CS, considering Alistar hasn't been there all game. Somehow they didn't get... They only get one plating down there though. Like... I don't know how they didn't get more.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Ezreal, he's not even worth it. No shutdown.
An ally has been slain.
This guy's got a shutdown, but I don't know if we can kill him. Oh, that's not our Ezreal anyway. I was like, Ezreal could have done it. This there is. At the end there, yeah. Well, Ezreal would have killed me anyway. I think Yone had it even if Ez didn't ult. I think he was up like 3 or 4 levels at that point with full build. Or yeah, this mythic. I didn't even have my first item, let alone my first mythic. But every lane, top was 1 and 5, jungler was 0 and 3, bottom was 2 and 5, even though Alistar was never there somehow. Yeah, I mean, the Rek'Sai gank early was really good. Hecarim is just kind of a shit jungler. And they changed him this most recent patch. The skill cap YouTube people were saying it was like a huge buff on Hecarim. I thought it sounded like a huge nerf to me because they nerfed his E knockback, like his charge. They nerfed his E damage. basically like his entire kit revolves around moving fast and like knocking people back and doing a ton of damage all at once, like in burst. And they just completely gimped his burst. So now Hecarim has 0 burst. He has way less speed, but they buffed his Q instead. So now he's more of like a sustain dueler. He just keeps queuing and it stacks up in damage. But that's like kind of a shit playstyle. It doesn't work with the rest of Hex kit, like moving fast and just spamming Q. I don't know. So I felt like that was a big nerf.
Sounds boring.
Yeah, Hecarim is pretty boring. The whole point of Hecarim is you move fast and you one-shot people. That's like the cool part. When he has no CC, he doesn't really bring anything to a team fight. Like his ult is like a 0.5 second fear, but that's it, right? So he's kind of shit as a tank, but you're giving him sustained damage. So I don't know. I feel like he doesn't really fit in anywhere. He used to be like just an assassin, like a tanky assassin. And Rek'Sai is really niche, but like good, like tons of utility just from that passive being like a huge sonar for your team. Your entire team gets the sonar. You can see like enemy champions walking on the ground like footsteps. Pretty cool.
When are they coming out with the new season of the League anime?
Oh yeah, I think in spring. I'm hoping they follow a different country or different characters.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy wants Darius. That guy's won the last 6 games of Yone. That's crazy.
I watched Man of Steel with my mom and my brother the other night. And, you know, Superman. And I didn't realize I've seen it before. It came out in 2013, I guess. But it's like pretty cheesy.
Yeah. Dude, those old superhero movies are super cheesy. Even the old, like, first Spider-Man trilogy, so bad.
Oh. But yeah, this one wasn't like quite cringy cheesy, but I guess it was like almost a two-minute. And kind of like halfway through, it was like, oh, they're just kind of doing the superhero thing. Like, he's not like that interesting of a character. He's just Superman. So, I don't know. I just realized part of it, what made it kind of cringy is that it's a long movie and kind of past the halfway point, Lois Lane's character is like, you know, there's supposed to be this like tension between her and Superman, but they didn't really like build it up in a believable way. So it's just kind of like, oh yeah, she's just the damsel in distress character or whatever, I guess. I don't know. Not even in distress. She feels like a random person, which I guess is what ruins it. It's like why there's no like real compelling reason why she's the the woman or whatever. I think what ruins Superman is that uh Krypton seems like a super cool planet, but it gets destroyed, and that's like the end of the cool part of the story. They got like crazy technology and all this shit, and it's like, man, screw Earth. Krypton's way cooler, man. Could have been a cool sci-fi movie. I think it's probably the same thing as what's going on in the Rings of Power, though, where like it's supposed to be cool because Superman's cool. It's just like almost like they say like the Marvel and DC comics are like almost an American mythology type of thing, but they're just kind of like cashing in on that. I feel like.
Superman is a flat story, but I heard Superman vs. Batman was cool.
Welcome to Summoner's
Really?
Rift.
Yeah. Kind of cool because Superman like recognizes the need for Batman, so he gifts him some kryptonite, to keep him in check or whatever. And then Batman like uses it as like an epic battle.
Huh. I guess that could be cool, but I just have so little faith in superhero movies that I'm not very compelled to watch it.
Yeah.
Minions spawn.
So I'm just kidding. That's the thing with Superman. He's like the ideal human or something like that for Superman. But because of that, his character is like kind of one-dimensional.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be tension in it because he knows he can just crush you with his bare hands, but he holds back. But in the movie, it's just like you don't really see him tempted to like give into it very much. Try to do that, but I don't know, it's like okay,
Oh, Zed flashed. I'll take it. Do it, man! Do it! What are these guys? Hilarious. They're missing so much golden experience in their lanes. Like, that's hilarious. I don't know if I can solo this. Need Soraka to come heal me. 10 seconds until my thing. Nope. Soraka walked right by. She could have come to just throw a heal down. Oh.
that's
So behind now. Gonna basically be useless all game. I'll just space out for the next 15 minutes. Put on some Sim Harris. Chill out. Like as a jungler, if you get a delayed start, it's so like unbelievably dog shit because like your entire progression is based on how fast you clear the camps. So if you're just 2 minutes behind, you're like under level the entire game with respect to everyone else because their faucets are already running. The creep faucets are already going. Oh, thanks, they actually showed up. Oh, load it.
I love Soraka.
Yeah, Soraka's awesome. Like a Yumi that can move.
An enemy has been slain.
Oh, nice. Got some enemies slain up there.
An ally has been slain.
Oh, nice. You took my red. That's great. he probably took Scuttle on his way to top.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
And my new computer is definitely faster, but I think it's getting gimped by still just having 16 gigs of memory. So I was watching it, and I don't know if it's because like maybe 310 uses more memory or something, but it was hitting the swap quite a bit. And we've added a lot of documents, you know, recently, so I think that's part of it. But if it's like, it's not really like completing it that much faster.
Yeah.
I think I gotta just do the 10 threads. It's got 10 performance cores and then 2 of the like, you know, efficiency ones or whatever.
Right.
I think due to the memory considerations, it's just not worth throwing the efficiency ones on it.
That's true. Yeah. Raka? Oh.
An ally has been slain.
Richard used the term sod today and he's messaging me.
Nice.
And I guess, I don't know if he was like kind of targeting me or whatever, giving me shit, but he said he was talking about the average dumb user or something like that. But anyways, I looked up sod and just in the Google cards or whatever, it gave like a really vague definition. It's like a kind of, but not really offensive British term, and that's like as much as it said. And I was like, dude, I'm too tired to be offended at this. I'm trying. And he just sent the definition of sod, which is like, you know, the grass. And I'm like, yeah, that is.
An enemy has been slain.
It's funny, I was way more productive today, working together, and it's because he's back in the U.S. It's like, I don't do good these like delayed conversations, you know.
Yeah. It is actually really annoying. If we've got half of our team is abroad.
Yeah, I feel bad because Minna's in right, and it's like low priority what I'm doing with her, I think, because like what she's working on with me is low priority for her in the first place. We went back and forth for like a week on some stuff, and then he messaged me like the next week. It's been like a month, and she's messaging, trying to pick up. I don't even. But it kind of sucks because like just kicked off. But because I don't know the context where we're at, she doesn't do it. You just have to kick off like the whole bit, that is just all of the changes we've made that haven't been merged, which gives you the full picture, but it's a lot less contextual. You're like, kind of like, what are all the things we did? I don't know. But the cool part is that I got the, the number pattern, the 0 through 100, whatever thing that's been like super broadened.
Yeah.
I got that into the currency pattern, and it's working.
Nice.
And I'm pretty sure initially, in like across default and stuff, when we were using currency patterns, I don't think it was built out. By the way, that works. But built out. So now it's not like I'm contributing that much. I'm just putting the two together, and it's like, oh yeah, get all this stuff.
Show some leg, Darius. No, well.
There's commented out currency patterns that are still like in the analysis, and it's like the euro symbol, the $sign, and like one other thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's not comprehensive at all.
I know. Nice, use this W, let's go. Is this free? Nice, Ari, that was so good. That was pretty cool, actually. Okay, these guys just got a ganking. Oh, of course, there's a pink ward. Oh, I'm just going home. Have fun. He took my whole jungle too. Cool guy. That's 2 blue buffs and a red buff that he's taken. And now they get free dragon because they have 3 people and we just have Soraka. No, don't look, don't look.
Feel like all of them will appreciate this story. So like the nature of what we do, you just become a regex expert more or less by default, because like you just sit all day every day. And so my dad, he codes in PHP mostly, and he just does like splash pages for like those ad campaigns for like mesothelioma or whatever. But click on this if you've had these symptoms. Maybe you qualify for this class action lawsuit. Yeah. And so you need to get. The funny thing too is like you must not be using the latest, whatever you call it, like RESTful API stuff or whatever that you build websites with. It's kind of old school, like looking to retire soon kind of thing. And but he needed the variables out of the URL, like it's got the question mark and then like this equals that, and then the and sign, and then another variable equals some value. And so he needed to get those, and he basically just copy pasted something on Stack Exchange or whatever. It was like, yeah, I don't really know how it works, but it got it, so it solved my problem on the new things, you know. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is. It's, you know, I just explained it to him in like a sentence. And he's like, oh, thanks, that makes so much more sense now.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
just
like, oh
rigid.
my, I was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Like, if depending on what your problem set is, you know, you can use regex, but in the most simplistic way, just to solve simple issues like that. Right? Where like basically everything about that is simple and expected. It's just a variable name equals something. Strings can't even have like slashes in it, right? Because that'd be like route. So like it's that the problem is very like narrow in scope. Super easy regex. But if you don't need that, it just looks like looks like Bash or something. Speaking of Bash Met, I spent last night I like ran out of steam, but I had just enough to like fuck around with CSH, and I have you know, analyzed more than just alias now, so that it passes it to. It's really fundamentally really simple, but they just call the you know, Python with the ZSH terminal that's gone through the ZSHRC, put through the x86 logic so that it loads the right Python version and all that, or at least aliases it correctly or whatever. So that's cool, but the problem is, it turns out it's really fucking hard to pass command line arguments through Bash or ZSH terminal or functions like that, because it like wants to just convert your arguments into just like normal strings, like a single normal string.
Yeah, well in Bash everything is a string. Everything's
So
a
like,
string.
the problem is like for the cross-reference stuff, I want to be able to specify a section. With the section names, you know, let's do some regex and put in the section name, and it finds a section with that name or whatever. Maybe tries something similar or whatever. It does a fuzzy match or something. But naturally, you know, it's like section or like article 3, you know, well, it's got a space in it. So when you pass that to a subfunction in ZSH, it interprets the space as like, oh, this is 2 arguments. And I literally spent 3 hours last night trying to figure out how to get it to like really the quotes. And I don't really know like all the ZSH or the Bash like syntax very well. It's just super frustrating. Basically just banging my head on the wall. And but I finally figured out how to get it working. And basically I just look at each of the arguments, figure out how to like iterate over them as an array. And then when you're doing that in the first function, you know, initially, even though it's all strings, like when you quote an argument, it's returned as like one spot in the array, even though it's got this little thing. So then instead of quoting it, which doesn't survive the like terminal syntax or whatever, I escaped the spaces, you know, the backslash, and I figured out how to get to do that on that. But so finally, you know, call it with the section name with spaces, and it'll preserve those spaces when it passes it to the nested shell.
Nice.
And I want to say it's because I'm lazy and I don't want to open up the Rosetta Alacrity thing, but it's not very lazy when it takes you like 3 hours to figure it out.
Bash is like weird. Surprisingly tricky.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because it's ZSH, because like ZSH tries to, apparently it's primarily trying to satisfy, I think it's KSH and then like CSH and honestly don't even know anything about those, but apparently it's starting to satisfy like 2 camps, that being the best both or something. But like this whole thing with the quoting thing, there's like literally like 5 different ways to like re-quote the argument. And only this one worked for me, but you know, my particular use case, but it's like madness. You can do like, I don't know if it's called like a string replacement thing or something, but it's, you know, you do the $sign and then curly braces, and it's like special syntax. But there's like a couple different syntaxes for doing that with arrays so that the arguments come out quoted. And basically one of the ways, you know, you do the certain syntax and it'll spit out the array as each element being quoted with like double quotes. But then if you put that inside a string, the double quotes just fucking disappear. And it just quotes the whole thing with a single set of double quotes.
Wow.
And I'm like, I just don't understand the logic behind that. And it's super frustrating because you're like, oh, I figured it out. And then you put that into a string and it still fails. Super frustrating. But the backslash is what. So as frustrating as that setup process was, and that is kind of nice for me to struggle through it though, because now I have like a better idea. Like all those things that somebody just tells you what to do and it works, and it's okay. I can touch it out. Now it's like, okay, I could touch it again and turn those fine.
Oh my god. Fucking Darius. That's it. 24-26. How is that not winnable? They're up 3 dragons.
Oh,
And our team is just doing silly shit like this. Ari's taking tier 2 bottom instead of joining us for Baron. Oh, well. They're just way more coordinated. They always have 5 everywhere.
it's kind of cool though that you can be almost 1-to-1 with the kills and still somebody's clearly winning.
Yeah. Kills are like, I think like way earlier seasons they mattered a lot more, but now it's almost all about dragons and stuff and like pressure and team fighting. Like we've lost every single team fight so far, so I just don't think we're gonna start winning them anytime soon, especially now that they have 400 extra gold from Baron and all the experience from Baron. And now we have to fight him for the next dragon because it's Dragon Soul, and I do not think we're gonna win this next fight. Oh, Soraka is so great.
Boots.
Oh god, this guy took over freaking Darius. Nice. Soraka, take the gummies, dude. Yeah, get some more healings. Heck yeah. Hells yeah. Alright, they've got too much disengage. Haha! I kill you! Alright boys, we got no smite. Game face time. I'll eat these cannon things and scare him with the charm. Literally just scared him away by putting the charm on him. Mightless, no protection. Raw dog in the dragon. Next time, I'll have to do that for Baron. What's the next fight? Nothing's up for like forever. Guess we just farm. He wants those.
I haven't played this game in a long time, but this feels super common where it's like, oh, we're fucked. But then, I don't know, the other team gets cocky or something and they lose a team fight like that and you grab the dragon or whatever and all of a sudden it's like, oh, nope, back in the game.
Yeah, I would say we're back in it yet. We gotta keep taking every dragon because they're one away from soul, which just sucks.
Oh, do they like stack like that?
Yeah, the fourth gives you like a superpower. Whichever team takes their fourth dragon gets like an insane buff. Which is cool, it makes it like meaningful. You guys want to kill this Thresh? Or I think we have numbers advantage here. Pretty sure we could. Okay. No one wants anything. Okay, dudes, we'll just go and I can't even farm. All my farm's taken already. This little guy's the only thing to do. Find this. Spooky. Oh no, I didn't go all the way over! Give me the tunnel! Darius just watching. Darius is like, nah. Even though he could 1v5 him, he's like, nah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I almost got over the wall. Let him a sick getaway. But their team, you see how their team just instantly collapses as like 3 people? I mean, we had Darius and me. I think we could have 2v3'd that. But just like, I'm gonna farm and then just recall. That's fine. Oh, he's not even recalling. Did he forget to hit recall? Is he looking at the shop? Oh no, he's gonna farm some more, okay.
Communism, man. Why win when you can liquidate populations for gold?
Yeah, it's all about farming. USSR simulator. Oh nice, my team's taking my jungle. Great, cool, good stuff. We've literally all been farming for the last 4 minutes. Ash is literally waiting for the red buff to come up. Like, dude. I guess Baron's up soon. That's like the next fight, huh? entire team recalled the shop. Great. So I'm here by myself, but I think I can get a sneaky ward down quick. Da-da-da. Maybe get one in here too. Oh no, it's fucking pinked. Great, good stuff. Ooh, spicy. Oh, we can get this. Damn, where is everybody? Where's their Darius and shit? There's Darius. A little late, but maybe we can make this happen. No, I guess we lose that. Oh, Ari's down there. Oh shit, he took over Darius. No! That's like the strongest guy to take over on our team. Because our Darius is super fed and has some great items. So when this dude, he like possesses every single character that he kills, or not, he doesn't necessarily have to kill them, they just have to be a dead body, and he can possess their dead body, get all their abilities and all their items. So when he gets Darius, we're just fucked. That sucks. There's Dragon Soul. I don't know why he went there. Dude, if you can't stop it, don't go. Oh, now we can't contest Baron, so now they get Baron. And then we basically just have to wait out Baron for 7 minutes, and then maybe we can play the game again.
Wait,
Yeah.
that was your team that just died of Dragon for no point? For
I
no
know,
reason?
because Soraka just went to die for no reason. She could have stayed alive and then we could have contested Baron afterwards, but no. That's like the thing, man, you see it in Silver, but you see it in so many higher elos too, where it's like, either like go in if you can be useful, otherwise don't go in at all. Like so many people like watch a fight, not contribute, and then run it at the end of the fight and die anyway. And it's like, well, if you're gonna die anyway, you should have been in there with us, right? Like, otherwise you can stay out and go do something like productive. But don't do the worst of both and like not help and then still die. Like, what?
That hot lead.
See, that could have been a good fight, maybe, because some of them probably recalled and some of them stayed. So maybe Kennen was alone, we could have fought him. But Darius missed his pull. Just wave clear and wait for Elder. Okay, man. Oh, man. Like 99% of this game is just so fucking boring. Now we're literally just locked up for 7 minutes. I'd rather be coding party sparse. Just farm creeps, guys. Just 7 more minutes farming creeps, and then maybe we can win their first fight. Maybe. Get death cap. I want sweeper, but I don't know what for. Sweeper sucks when you're on the losing side. Like you're never gonna get vision control when you're behind. Oh man, that's a nice try. 1v5. Sweeper, yeah, Sweeper kind of sucks on Evelyn. Sweeper also sucks when you're behind because like they're going to have so many wards to put around your jungle. Like the offensive team always has like yellow ward priority. Like, do you really think I'm gonna use Sweeper and be able to clear anything? Like, do you think you're gonna sweep a yellow buy or blue buff and have time to clear it without getting like just destroyed by everybody? Not to mention that Eve has to unstealth to clear the wards, so it's like, I don't know, just super dumb. Oh, but that one was like lost from 15 minutes, so I don't feel like there was any throw there. There's no surprise badness, it was just consistent badness. That name is awesome. I love that name.
Wait, so in that study, if they developed COVID-19, they were recommended not to use ivermectin. That's actually hilarious.
Oh, dude, this guy he's just tilted, that's all. He's been playing too much today. He's 2-11, 3-13, 0-5. Jesus. What are you gonna do? Some people get tilted. I can lose and not get tilted, but like even when I'm losing, I'm not going like, 3-13. Like those are super rare. Yeah, no, Ari is super easy. There were times when he was pinging me, like that Misfortune top. He could have moved on that sooner and got her, because Misfortune was alone. He had Death Cap and Void Staff. Like, that's plenty to blow up Misfortune on his own, like it's an 80 carry. I don't know if I could have walked there soon enough to contribute. And the rest of their team did show up eventually, but there was a small window of opportunity there where, as Ari, he could have gone in and blown up the Misfortune and gotten out. But instead, he stuck around and died under tower. That's the thing too, is a lot of times like the right move, like it'll only be the right move for like, 5 seconds and then it's the wrong move. So some people will be like, should we go in? And he'll say yes, and then they'll go in and die and be like, you told me yes. I'm like, well, yeah, for 5 seconds there, yes. But like then we saw more of them coming or whatever. I don't know. You have to be able to like evaluate fluid situations and act super quick. And as an assassin, that's like extremely important because like you have to exploit every little window of opportunity. When you see their 80 carry rotating to farm a wave top, like you got to be on that like yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and Ari can afford to because she's got escape. You can go and blow someone up and get out. Evelyn, like it's a little harder actually. Like she's a good flanker, but she doesn't have a whole lot of escape. I don't know. Unless you're fed, you're not really that much of a threat to just solo kill people on their way to somewhere. But every game today has been like super boring. Maybe I'll just go to bed. Actually, there was that silliness by Blue Buff early on when Soraka like saved my life twice in a row. That was hilarious. And Three Stooges shit. Ghost can be good on Varus, yeah. It's legit. I'm not hating.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
But in my view, you would not have seen anything like the inflation that we have seen without the pandemic effects. And those pandemic effects include both shifts in demand and also playing a role in, not solely causing, but playing a role in the supply side constraints that emerged. So as for the pandemic, it did lead directly to an extraordinary shift in demand away from in-person services and to goods. And that shift, of course, was a major contributor to inflation in goods prices, which was really the main inflation story at the very beginning when inflation broke out suddenly in March of 2021.
Hold on, bro. Let me play that back. What the?
When inflation broke out suddenly.
When inflation broke out suddenly. When inflation broke out suddenly.
Hence, as we say in our statement, with inflation running persistently below 2%, we will aim to achieve inflation moderately above 2% for some time, so that inflation averages 2% over time, and longer-term inflation expectations remain well anchored at 2%. We expect to maintain an accommodative stance of monetary policy until these outcomes, including maximum inflation, are achieved. With regard to interest rates, we now indicate that we expect it will be appropriate to maintain the current 0 to 1/4% target range for the federal fund until labor market conditions have reached levels consistent with the assessments of maximum employment, and inflation has risen to 2% and is on track to moderately exceed 2% for some time. In addition, over coming months, we will continue to increase our holdings of Treasury securities and agency mortgage-backed securities, at least at the current pace. These asset purchases are intended to sustain smooth market functioning. In seeking to achieve inflation at an average percent over time, we are not tying ourselves to a particular mathematical formula that defines the average. Thus, our approach could be viewed as a flexible form of average inflation targeting. Our decisions about appropriate monetary policy will continue to reflect a broad array of considerations and will not be dictated by any formula.
It wasn't me! It wasn't me! It wasn't me! Hey!
Alright. Today is Thursday, 8th of September. This is a recap of the stock market activities today. And folks, I got a good one for you tonight. Let's start with this. My condolences to our British viewers for passing the Queen today. It is certainly an end of an era. Life has to go on. And in tonight's program, we'll cover a lot of topics. Most importantly, how the Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is evading responsibility.
Golden's your friend or cousin or whoever.
when it comes
Do
to
a
tackling
code boot
inflation
camp
under
or
commitment to
anything
tightening
like
the
that?
monetary policy. We will also talk about a phenomenon that will become more relevant in the days to come. And this happens to be the collision course between Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed of the United States, and Madame Lagarde, the head of the ECB. Yep, they're about to collide in a big way, and the ramifications could not be any more important than this. And without further ado, here it is, in focus tonight.
Lame sucks.
It wasn't me. That's what Jerome Powell says. What inflation? I don't know nothing about nothing. I didn't do nothing. Inflation just popped out of nowhere. Okay, Mr. Powell, you want to play this game? Let's play this game. I'm going to expose your ass for everybody to see.
Yeah, you kinda
But before
just
we
have
do
to
that,
do it.
remember legendary economist
It's
Milton
not a
Friedman
magic
back in the
bullet,
70s and 80s
but
who led the monetary movement, which
if
pretty
you
much
don't
says
do it
inflation
now,
has
then
always
in a year
been
or
monetary
whatever,
phenomenon.
you're
You can say it's a
just
supply
not
issue.
going
You can
to
say, oh, the
acquire
tornado, the
those
hurricane, the
skills,
earthquake,
so-
the alignment between Jupiter and the moon. That's
And
not
then one
good.
of
At
them
the end
is
of the day,
like,
there hasn't been one episode of sustainable
no
inflation
free
without an
lunch.
increase in the money supply. Likewise, there hasn't been any single episode of inflation that did not respond to monetary tightening. What does that mean? The original source of inflation is the monetary policy, and the cure comes also from the monetary policy. Hence, we as the public, we place a lot of trust in the Federal Reserve to do the right thing. We know back in 2020, the Fed panicked and oversupplied the economy with a tsunami of liquidity likes that we have never seen before in history. And as a result, the Fed ended up overstimulating an economy that did not need stimulation at all. The
critical.
millions of jobs that we lost back in 2020, that was a self-inflicted wound because it was due to the shutdowns and the lockdowns. Hence, the
Actually, that
cure
kinda
for
makes
episode
sense
of
without
unemployment was
really,
not and should have never
knowing
came
anything
from the
about the
monetary
guy.
policy. Our health officials and politicians
you're
were in charge.
in the
The moment
gambling,
they decided to reopen the economy, we saw
and
massive
then,
acceleration and recovery in all of these jobs.
is this high risk reward?
That leaves
Well, I
us
wouldn't
with the
call it risk
overstimulation
really,
that
but
the Fed has
high
done.
potential
Byproduct of this
reward with
overstimulation,
letting it go like
tsunami
this.
of liquidity is
But then
inflation.
turns out
It doesn't
like,
take
oh,
a
you
genius
gotta
to figure
spend
this out.
time.
The problem is the chairman of the Fed,
Not-
Jerome Powell,
yeah,
claims
it's
to
not a
deny
high
any
risk
responsibility
reward,
at
it's
all
just
for the
kind of
monetary
like a
policy in creating this inflation. He blames everything under the
steady
sun with the
investment
insane
or
increase in the
something,
money
I don't
supply. Listen to Professor Steve Hankey from Johns Hopkins.
The Fed chairman and the Fed governors have not been looking at the money supply. They've been trying to convince us that inflation is caused by something else besides growth in the money supply. You mentioned
Man,
transitory. Remember the
I
supply
think
chain
that could really like
shocks and
fuck you up.
oil prices and
I
this
think one
and
of the
that,
best
everything
things that
under the
happened to
sun
me is
but
that
money.
every time I went to the
And
casino, I just
actually,
lost all my
Chairman
money.
Powell did
I
testify before
don't
Congress
think
indicating
I
that the money
ever.
supply really didn't
The
have
only
any
time I walked
connection
away
with
with
economic activity. So
like
that's the
significantly
background.
more
And-
money
and
than I
still,
started
even
with
in his Jacksonville
was when
speech,
somebody
Chairman
just gave me
Powell
money to
never
gamble with it
admitted
for
that he
activity.
understood where
So it wasn't
inflation
even my
was
money.
coming
So
from.
like,
He never mentioned the money supply.
And
you know,
unfortunately,
I
today,
didn't
the
even
results
walk
of that
away with
Jerome
as
Powell
much
with
as
no
it
shame at all.
seemed
Double down
because
on his stand that he's
I
not
came in with
responsible
zero
at all
and
when
didn't
it comes to
spend
this
anything.
inflation. The monetary policy did not produce this inflation, and inflation just popped out of nowhere.
So I graduated from college in 1975, which was close to peak monetarism, and there was quite a focus on monetary aggregates, and I recall it just as you do. So to go to this current situation, so as part of our response to the pandemic, we did resort to large asset purchases to address what were pretty severe disruptions in markets.
I don't know. It depends
and
how you
also to
think
support the
about
economy, and our balance sheet
Like,
expanded dramatically.
when you
But remember that our
don't make
purchases
a
of
habit of doing
securities
anything.
don't actually increase the quantity
kinda
of
sitting
government
there
obligations held by the
rolling
public. It
the
really changes the
dice,
mix
you know?
because we issue bank reserves to pay for those securities. So we're not changing, the quantity of obligations. That is not to say that money growth wasn't high. It was, of course,
I mean,
extraordinarily
I
high in
suppose it's
2020,
better than
and then slowed down in 21, and now is quite sluggish. And I guess I would just say it this way: whatever caused, there are different theories on what caused the inflation to so suddenly jumped up out of early March of 2021. Whatever that cause was, the relationship between the money supply and inflation, economic output, has been much more unstable than it was in Friedman's day for a very long time. And so, literally, changes in monetary aggregates have not had.
I think the thing with gambling though is you can
a good predictor of the economy or
be
inflation. Now, of course,
pretty
the economy's
sober,
changed, and that too can change. To where
you
it's,
know, maybe get
important
nowhere
again,
for a long
for now,
time,
and for
but
really
you
many years
can
now,
build up
monetary
the other
aggregates
parts of your
don't
life
play an important
and then
role
lose
in
it
our
all
policy.
because
We
you
don't think
gamble
that's
it
a
away, you know?
good way to think about policy or
I think
about
that's
inflation.
pretty
It's more
typical.
about demand and supply and things like that.
Now, all of this is bullshit, of course. We know the reason behind this inflation is the misguided monetary policy, creating excess all over the economy. And now, to remove this excess, the Fed has to tighten the monetary policy. The problem is, can they do that surgically? To get the
Yeah, I was
excess going,
watching,
or are they going to end up extracting the excess and then
Dude,
some? This is
I don't
the
even really like
conversation we
Norm
talk about the
Macdonald,
Fed
but
overdoing
you know, he
tightening
died
and
like a
perhaps
year
pushing the
ago or
economy
something,
into
and so
recession. Of course, since
all
recently,
these
Jerome Powell has
comedians
been
are
chatting
like,
with Volcker.
Norm's
He's not
the
even close to
best,
becoming
even though he
decent
wasn't
player
like
in Volcker's
the
shoes,
big
let alone to become
speaker of all
Volcker.
the
But regardless,
comedians,
let the
like,
man fantasize for a little bit.
have
For
fun
now,
things
he
to
thinks
say
that he
about
needs to be as
I
aggressive
think he
as
was
he
one of
can
these
to tackle
guys where
inflation
he
down. He will not
like
stop
literally
until
gambled
the
away
problem. Mr. Powell suffers
all of
from
these money
issue.
like
And the reason is
twice.
back in 2018,
And
2019, he said
I think he was
the
sitting
monetary policy and
pretty
bring back
good
interest rates
to do
back
that,
up.
I
The
guess,
stock
along
market
all
started
that
to go
stuff.
down in response to
He
this.
had like
Banks
made
pivoted
it,
and
but
decided to cut interest rates once again to appease the stock market.
multiple
And therefore, it
times, and
doesn't
it's
matter
like,
if Mr. Powell says, I'm going to do whatever it needs to be done until the job is done. We have to see it to believe it. it. Otherwise, the stock market will be skeptical. We will see dips being bought. We will see a resurgence of the mania episodes, just like we saw a few weeks ago during the so-called summer rally. And this will loosen financial conditions once again, making the Fed engage in cat and mouse games that will prove to be extremely dangerous for this economy. And therefore, the Fed has to walk away. be as aggressive as they need to be to tackle this inflation down.
Yeah.
Remember, when Volcker was the chairman of the Fed, he raised interest rates above the inflation rate. Right now, the Fed funds rate stands at 2.5%. The inflation rate above 8%. So we're not even close to tackling inflation down. The Fed remains a follower, sitting in the passenger seat, while inflation remains in the driver's seat for now. The problem is, the conversation in Wall Street, not a surprise of course, is dominated with one risk, and that risk is, what if the Fed overdo the tightening and we go into a severe recession? Or perhaps we're seeing inflation cooling down. Maybe it is time for the Fed to back off. Once again, a reminder, inflation rate above 8%, the Fed funds rate at 2%. There's another risk. That risk is, what if the Fed prematurely backs off?
Yeah, it's like Gary V's all about
policy aggressive.
baseball cards are like NFTs. They were blowing up. People are getting like rich overnight with baseball cards.
This economy. So the Fed must not waver in their commitment of tackling this inflation down.
I don't know, man.
The Fed is already speaking with both
And
sides.
Gary Vee like super recommends it.
Like
you know Gary Vee, right?
No.
Oh.
For as long as it takes to stop inflation.
You'd recognize him if you saw him.
I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too. On one hand, the Fed wants to be as tough as they can, at least from an appearance perspective, because they have a credibility crisis. But on the other hand, they're also concerned with appeasing the stock market, Wall Street, the oligarchs, and reassuring everybody that they are aware.
Whatever validity crypto had,
the stock market listens to one
it's
side
like
of that conversation.
way beyond
The Fed is aware of the risk of further tightening, meaning
anything real at
that
this point.
thinking has to be completely erased from the stock market right now. Otherwise, the Fed will never be able to.
Especially with the energy.
Reserve Vice Chair Branded
Yeah, the energy waste.
fight against inflation that she said is hurting lower
Like,
income
oh, climate
families.
change. Is climate change a
We are in this
problem?
for
Well,
as
here's
long as it
crypto.
takes to get inflation down, she said. And this comes just 2 weeks before the Fed's next policy meeting. He also added, so far, we have expeditiously raised the policy rate in the peak of the previous cycle. The policy rate will need to rise further. Adding, with a series of inflation and supply shocks,
Could maybe have gotten him.
against the risk
How you
households
get
and businesses
into
would
it,
start to expect
like,
inflation to remain above
it's
2%
kind
in
of
the longer
similar to
run,
just
which would
people
make
who are
it
in
much more
sports anyway.
challenging to bring inflation down to our target. And that target is 2%.
Like,
The vice chair
I don't
also said
understand.
monetary
Yeah,
policy will be
I'm not that
restricted
kind
for
of
some time
person.
to provide confidence.
I don't understand why you
here.
get
Coach
that
Jerome Powell
into
said
it.
the monetary policy has nothing to do with inflation. So why is the cure to the illness is via the monetary policy? Anyways, the economic environment is highly uncertain, and the path of policy will be data dependent. Here comes the pivot. This is the problem with these zombies. They speak with both sides of the mouth. This will mean more interest rate increases and keeping rates higher for longer, she said in remarks prepared for a speech in New York. However, listen to this. Brain did cushion the comments with an acknowledgement. The policymakers will be data dependent and conscious of overdoing tightening. Fed funds rate 2.5%, inflation rate above 8%. Anyhow, she says at some point in the tightening cycle, the risks will become more two-sided to the rapidity of the tightening cycle and its global nature, as well as the uncertainty around the pace at which the effects of tightening financial conditions working their way through active demand.
That's the thing. I kind of understand poker because I think the gambling aspect of it, as far as like trying to actually win money or like make a living doing this, it's still kind of beyond me. But poker itself is interesting. It's more mental than just literally rolling with it.
Yeah.
And now we have Tesla Witch, Mama Kathy Wood. She says that Jerome Powell should put away the old Volcker sledgehammer. I mean, what the hell are you talking about? Volcker raised interest rates at some point by over 200 basis points in a single meeting. He got the Fed funds rate above the CPI at the time, all the way to 20%.
Some people, like to get into blackjack, and blackjack's kind of fun to play. And sort of see. I just think about it afterwards. And feel kind of stupid. But that's not as cool as poker to me because like, it draws you in because technically you can get really close to even with the house if you play everything first. But you still can't control the other people playing with you, which can screw up your strategy. And it's fundamentally just kind of like just numbers game. It's like a weird way to like enjoy that.
Stronger and receptive velocity. You want to talk about build back better? It's going to happen in inflation. The Fed pivots. Even talks about these.
When you get like sponsorships or something, because it seems like if you're literally just making money on the wings,
at the same time when Clown
it is mental, so I guess you can be better than everyone else. But I don't know. Seems like you're just bound to fail.
But also a major contributor
with poker, you can get good control your bet sizes and stuff.
They lost an important trend line, as you can see from the chart.
By risk management.
Back to the 80s. Now, as the euro is crashing, inflation is surging high. European inflation is at 9.1%.
It's kind of evil because, like, if you're like one of those big guys on TV doing the poker game and shit, but you got sponsors and stuff, like you can play the game in a way where you're not necessarily betting, like you're good at playing it, so you get paid for that rather than the average Joe who
went
might
down and the
think,
dollar
like,
went
oh,
higher
I could
as
do
Jerome
that.
Powell started
Here
speaking.
you,
Now, what does that mean? It means
there
that
is
Madam
no
Lagarde is
sponsors. You're
failing
just
miserably in tackling
spend
inflation,
money
even
like
with the 75
anything
basis points high, because Jerome Powell is ruining everything he's doing. We have this race right now. Lagarde wants to tighten the monetary policy aggressively to tackle down inflation. Of course, he's Johnny come lately. She should have done that last year. But you know what? So is Jerome Powell. He's also tightening. He's pushing the value of the dollar up, which pushes the value of the euro down. This is the collision course that we have. So what is the resolution here? Because if the Fed continues to tighten aggressively, the value of the dollar will shoot up higher, and the euro will go down. What does that mean? Should the ECB become even more aggressive and raise interest rates by 100 basis points? About 150? About 200? About 300? And now we get to the risk of overdoing it and crushing the economy into a severe recession. What is the alternative? So Powell back down. Okay, let's say Powell backs down. He says 50 basis points in September, and then 25. But what do you know? The dollar goes down, the euro surges higher. But guess what else happens? As the dollar goes down, commodity prices goes higher in the United States, and that pushes inflation higher in this country. By the way, the majority of commodities trading is done via the US dollar, so that pushes inflation globally. So there is a risk, even if Powell backs off, allows the euro to move higher. For European inflation to go down, it might actually backfire, as we see dollarized commodities moving higher in value. This is a major dilemma that is happening right now, and the majority of the damage will happen in Europe, not in the United States. The European economy is already in severe stagflation. GDP growth is being driven down dramatically, while inflation continues to linger higher. Somehow, the ECB needs to figure out a way to shore up the euro. Otherwise, they will fail in tackling inflation, regardless of the aggressive interest rate hikes. And they could continue to raise interest rates all they want. All that they're going to do is dump the economy into a recession at some point. But there is no guarantee they will be able to tackle down inflation without the currency recovery. We now have Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve standing in the way of the ECB to tackle down this inflation properly. On the other hand, what is the Fed supposed to do? Are they supposed to ease now and allow the dollar to go down and risk inflation being revived in this country? They cannot afford to do that right now, and hence the dilemma. Let me know what you think in the comments, but for now, I'm going to move on to cover the stock market information for you. We start with the closing of the indices today, and here we go. The Dow Industrial Average closing in the green by 193.24 points, or a gain of 0.61%. The Nasdaq closing in the green by 70.23 points, or a gain of 0.60%. S&P 500 leading the pack with gains of 26.31 points, or 0.66%. The sector's performances today led by number 1, capturing the gold medal, healthcare; number 2, the silver, financials; number 3 for bronze, materials. Yet the laggard of the day was communication services. The advance to decline ratios, NYSE 60% advancing versus 37% declining. The Nasdaq also 60% advancing versus 37% declining. Lots of algorithmic trading here, and hence we're seeing the NYSE and the Nasdaq trading pretty much on top. Commodities, what's going on here? See, the dollar initially was higher in the morning, and then it cooled off because the market was debating which side do we go with. The hawkish interest rate hikes by the ECB. Should we buy the euro now, or should we buy the hawkish rhetoric from Jerome Powell and go with the dollar? Now, the market did not make up its mind yet, but my hunch is the market will go for now until the Fed's meeting or perhaps the next CPI reading. The market will go with the euro and dump the dollar. If that's the case, you will see a revival in commodities trading. The value of these
there's
commodities
probably
will
like
shoot
a
up high.
golden
Then we saw a
era
decent day
where
for crude oil,
you
both the WTI and Brent gained
could be in
July
small
by 1%.
group you actually know about those loopholes and can exploit them
Also gained a little
effective.
over half percentage point. Natural
So
gas
what gets me
gained
is
about
now
1.5%.
like they can just
Diesel
throw you out
gained
for
about
counting
1.5%.
cards, and it's
Softs,
like,
we have gains led by lumber, gains
you know,
of
the
4.5%,
house,
followed by
even
cotton,
with
gains of a little
blackjack,
over
even though you
2%.
can
Gold
kind of
gained
make it
close to
even,
green,
the
almost by
house still
1%,
comes
while
out
coffee was
ahead
flat for the day. On the other hand,
if you
cocoa
count cards, like just barely. That's partly
See,
because
when we
they
say the
don't.
dollar is about to go down, we need to see a confirmation by gold. Sure, guiding the rule. If gold
But
doesn't pop higher, gold is questioning
they can
the
just
apparent weakness in
pick
the
you
dollar.
out, like
As
you're
if
not
gold is
allowed to
saying,
count,
not
like
so
you're not
fixed.
allowed to
You've been
try
fooled
hard.
before, you ain't gonna fool me again. And therefore, gold was actually down by about half a percentage point today. Yet on the other hand, the action that we saw in the currency market was good enough for rally in silver, platinum, copper, palladium, all with major gains. Palladium, for example, scored gains of about 5.5%. We talk that means the new big cap, lean high, leading the pack gains about 1%. We have needed action beating the V for both 5 and even futures. That means we have a rebound. The soybean oil, the loser so far, a month at least. The rebound was worth over 2.25% today. Likewise, we have gains for rough rice, oats, and soybeans futures. On the other hand, we have losses, be it modest, corn, with above 1%. Wheat,
I ran out of mana for my ult. No.
Now, watch out for wheat, because the reason behind the drop in wheat futures is the
I
fact
probably
that
could
we
have
saw
killed her
wheat from
without
Ukraine coming out of the country
using
being traded in the global market. Of course, the
like just
Ukrainians
Q
cannot
and then
really
alt.
trade wheat out of their own ports without
But
permission.
who counts the
This
mana?
was a deal sponsored by Turkey, and we saw a lot of wheat leaving Ukraine, and supposedly it should have gone to African countries, Middle Eastern countries that really need that wheat. But according to the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, the wheat did not go to these countries, the poor countries. Instead, it went to European countries. And now he's
Well,
mad.
that's something
Where's that?
about,
You can see a disruption of the
like,
wheat supply
the
to
rich
Ukraine.
guys
Of
who
course, that will translate
gamble
into
a lot,
higher wheat
so
prices.
just
Mr.
make
Putin
a lot
added,
of
just
money
as
so they
many
can
European countries acted in
afford to
previous
do it.
centuries as colonialists. This is how
It's
they
just a
continue
weird
acting
thing,
today.
'cause,
They
like,
have once again cheated the
I
developing
can see
countries
how,
and continue cheating them.
like,
It is
why
obvious
they
this
would
approach can only
continue
intensify
going,
the
because
scale
you
of
get all
global
these
crisis.
freebies and nice hotels for cheap or whatever. And if you're, you know, high roller or whatever, they'll like really take care of you, because ultimately you're gonna lose all this money. It's just like kind of a weird way to pay.
Suppose the dollar goes down because the Fed is backing away from the hawkish rhetoric for whatever reason. On top of that, we get a supply shock, such as the Russians stopping the flow of wheat from Ukraine. That will mean higher wheat prices, which will mean higher food price inflation. So again, I continue to remind everybody on a daily basis that if you assume that inflation is gone, that if you're on team transitory inflation, you could be sadly mistaken. The tailwinds for these futures to pop higher again are simply too strong. Once again, the Fed must not waver the commitment of tackling inflation down. Otherwise, you get rid of the headwind, allowing all of these tailwinds to push commodities prices higher again. Not just wheat, also metals, most importantly, energy commodities. Moving on to options, the big casino, what's going on here? And folks, look at this. When I read these numbers for you, I'm not just reading them for you. You can do that on your own. What you want to know is, what do these numbers actually mean? When we talk about the volume, when we talk
I was thinking about that actually in a weird segue here with like charities.
Today, about 50.5% of those were called.
I realize
so
it's kind of inefficient. You, I guess depending on how you do it, if you target your charity at like the average person to just chip in the dollar here, like, you can get 1 million people to do that. You can get $1 million, and, you know,
Apple is lagging.
that seems great.
Number 3, AMD.
But what do you have to spend to reach 1 million people? You know, you're better off with these high roller dinner deals that all these rich people go to. They're going to donate enough for it to be worth it. But then if you can get them to get the, you know, their network involved, like, you know, if you get like Joe Rogan to donate to something, whatever he donates, it's great. But there's millions of people that are gonna, like, you know, gonna be influenced to do the same. It's like, it's purpose.
An enemy has been slain.
There's no way that Zyra saw me, right? She didn't get anywhere close to the blue ring. Maybe she just remembered. Oh, close.
The acquisition of donation. Sounds funny.
Donation acquired.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Oh. Dude. See, you know, this game, my team is just way too far ahead. Like, this isn't fun either. Honestly, the snowball games are just, like, not cool. Let me, oh, damn it! Damn.
I think the problem with Bloodline Champions is that there's not a whole lot of build-up. You just do, like, your 3 rounds or whatever, and it's over.
Yeah. Although it's kind of fun because it's 3 out of 5, so when it's like neck and neck and you're like, yeah, trying really hard. I think it lacked variety because League has like all the champs and all the items and all the runes. There's just like, you know, power law, amounts of different things.
Yeah.
Always feels fresh. Bloodline, a lot of the character designs were kind of similar too. Like a lot of guys had the same like reflect and ability thing. I don't know. I don't know, honestly. But the combat in League is really fun. Somehow. They done combat right. Except for that Xerath. That does not look fun.
What?
That Xerath just got dogpiled.
No.
He's not having a good time with the combat. What do we do? Get next dragon? Or do a cheeky fight? Let's do a cheeky fight. Oh, this guy's fucking dead. Act like I was running towards dragon, then double back to kill Zyra. Oh, she used her thing. Aha! Oh, I could have ulted to dodge the Xerath. R. Again, he did have 2 more, probably would have killed me anyway. Time for dragon. Nice. Me and Silas have the same score. 11, 4, and 4. Holy shit. It's Renekton. It's like the polar opposite of the Renekton we had first game tonight. I feel like he went stealth. He doesn't have any stealth items. I don't know what that was. Looked cool though. I can't get him through the creeps. Man, these two are so squishy and so by themselves. There's gonna eat that bush. No? Oh, this is a good try. Oh, he's dead anyway. Ah, the flash. Flash you. Oh, let's see. Hopefully Zera doesn't brave side. Doesn't even hurt. Oh, that Q hurt though. She's gonna W me. She's not weak. Nope, he's not looking. Guess we could just end.
An enemy has been slain. Dang, that was close. That was a good try.
You know, it's a weird thing. The WWE.
Yeah. Have you seen it recently? It's so clearly fake. I don't get it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been so clearly fake for probably ever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, you know, steroid taking bros smashing each other with furniture. I mean, it's not possible, you know. But the thing is, it's like a show. So like, if you accept that, I can see how you could just go to one and well, it's just a show. It's a weird show, but I don't get how it's so popular. I don't know.
Right. Oh, that was cool. I killed Zyra, ulting backwards to get into range to proc my charm on Kaisa. That was awesome. Play of the night. I just instinctively always charm the ADC.
Just gotta slay the right.
Oh, this guy's dead. Wait, what? Where's my boys? We're stopping this. We can just end. How the what is it? 7 and 16 Yi and 3 and 10 they're up. Let him walk all over us. Classic. We could have ended like 10 minutes ago at this point. Okay, so I'm not sparing, so Baron might actually be gone. Oh, he stole it. What? Stop their backs. They got him right. Easy cleanup. Good job, guys.
Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
Half the time he's trying just to get him to go away, like just let me break your turret. Get out of here. Oh no, the case. She scales. Oh, dodge the W. Where is it? What? Oh my gosh, the Nara died to the creeps. If I can kill her. On her way back to tower. No, the Zero spawned just in time. Alright, what's next? What do we got? Nothing. No objectives up. And they won't surrender.
Sounds like my kind of team.
Just like farming super minions. It's their favorite thing.
I didn't level up this far to quit.
Yeah. Man, Ashe ult is such a short cooldown. She's just spamming him out there, like. Dang, now he can kill me. Oh, the turntables. Dang, if I was Korean, I could have used Zanya's when I saw the Gnar flash because I knew he was gonna flash ult back in the tower. Would have been cool. Cool. They never use stopwatch. Oh well. These games are so lame. I don't know. Every game tonight was like a stomp one way or the other. Dumb. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys.